Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to graph a piecewise function. Um, in this case, it's called piecewise because it's a function by pieces. In this case, you will see two pieces here. The best way to graph those is to try to graph each piece by itself. So for example here, you have f of x equals to 1 minus x whenever x is less than or equal to 1. F of x would be x squared when x is greater than 1. So we can graph the first one, try to get the points for the first one to graph it. So if the first condition here is f of x equals to 1 minus x, which is the first line here. And in such case, you will have x, it says if x is less than or equal to 1. Okay, so one thing you can do here is to try to get values as you would graph a linear equation here, a linear function. I'm saying you would get values of x, right? So in this case here, it says x is less than or equal to 1, meaning that you can get values like x can be something like 0, because 0 is less than or equal to 1, right? X can also be 1, okay? Because it's x less than or equal, okay? So as long as you take something that equal to 1 or less than 1, you're fine. So with these two values, all you got to do is, just find values of y, all right? So we can go back here and let's say, for example, for the first one here, when x is equal to 0, what I'll have would be f of 0, right? And f of 0 would be 1 minus 0 because x is 0, as we said, okay? And f of 0 would be 1. So this would be an ordered pair, a point, which would be 0 for x, and you just get 1 for y. All right, so this is the first point. Okay, now a second point you can get here is when x is equal to 1. So when x is equal to 1, you have to find f of 1. Okay, and in this case, f of 1 would be 1 minus 1, which is 0, right? Okay, so now 1 minus 1 is 0, and the ordered pair here would be the value of x, which is 0. 1. In this case here, the value of x1, and the value of y, which is 0, what you just found. Okay, now to graph this, by the way, you don't have to, you have two pieces. This is the first one, okay, but you can go ahead and graph this one, or you can do the second one, the second piece. And this case, the second piece would be f of x equals to x squared, okay? F of x equals to x squared. Now, f of x equals to x squared, the condition is as this: if x is greater than 1, all right? Now, we'll do it the same way. If x is greater than 1, what type of values would we have? Okay, well, we'll have values like x could be something like, let's say 2, right? You could pick more than 2 values, but hey, let's say x is 2 in this case here. Now if x is 2, you'll have f of 2 equals to 2 squared, which is 4, right? Okay, now this is the part that actually, it's not too tricky, but it actually tricked people. In this case here, since it says less than 1, so let me put an asterisk here. Since it says less than 1, it doesn't mean, it means that you will not choose 1, but you will choose anything close to 1. So it's okay to let x be 1, for example, because you're trying to get a point close to that. But if you let x be 1, remember to reject that point. So reject the ordered pair. By the way, I'm saying it this way. I'm saying reject it. What I'm saying really is to use an open circle. So you're going to use an open circle on that value. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay. Now, if x is to be 1, then you would have f of x, f of 1, then that would be 1 squared, okay, which is 1. And this is just for you to graph it. So that's why I'm saying reject the ordered pair. It's not really part of the graph. It's just for you to graph, okay? So now what you can do, we can go ahead and graph, okay? So let's say, what if we have, let me try to draw it here. All right, the y-axis, x-axis here. Okay, so let me try to, okay, this is x, this is y. Okay, now the first piece here, which is, it's linear as you can see, so it's going to be a straight line. It's 0, 0. So I'm saying 0, 1. So 0, 1 is right here. This is 0 and this is 1, so 0, 1. The second point is 1, 0. 1, 0 is right here. And one thing to remember is that the values of x are less than 1, so you cannot pass this value here. So the graph will go this way, right? You would just keep going to the left like this. All right, so this is how it is. Now, as you can see, from 1, 1, 1, 0, and 0, 1. And it keeps going because you could keep choosing values less than 1. So like -1, -2, it will still give you all the values of y, so you can keep going to the left right there. Okay, so that's why I put an arrow here to show you that you can keep going. Okay, now how about the other piece here, the x squared? This is quadratic. You know, it's a U-shape parabola, right? So let's plot the points. We have the first point, what was it? I didn't put it here, so let me write it here. This would be x. The x value is 2, and the y value is 4. So 2, 4, okay? The second point here is 1, 1, because the x value is 1, y value 1. The first point here, 2, 4. I'm going to put 2, 4 here. And 2, 3, 4. So it would be somewhere here, right? Okay, so this is where the 2 is, 2, 4. And the second point, 1, 1. 1, 1 is 1 here, 1, so right here. But remember, this is not a point on the graph, so you have to use an open circle, okay? Use an open circle because it's not part of the graph. So now what do you do to graph it? Well, you just need to connect. And that's why it's good to have this point, although you reject it by using an open circle. So this part is not part of the graph, but anything close to it is still part of the graph. So you just connect. Remember the U shape. This keeps going up, okay? All right. So this is how you graph a piecewise function. Now, always remember what we just did here. You go by, remember it's by pieces. So really when you read this, what it means is that f of x will be 1 minus x, just like I put it here. F of x will be 1 minus x if x is less than or equal to 1. Whatever the value you pick, as long as it's less than or equal to 1, like 0 and 1, then you would use the first piece. These values of x will give you a graph for the first piece, okay? Now, for the second piece, if x is greater than 1, not equal to 1, but greater than 1, that's why not equal, so that's why I put an open circle here. Okay, that's why I put this little thing here saying reject the ordered pair. So just to show you that we're rejecting it, okay? We're rejecting the point here, the point 0, 0, this point right here. Okay, now by ordered pairs, that's what I mean. So you could just say reject the point if that's better for you to understand. Okay, so you reject the point here. By rejecting it, what do? I just put a zero, an open circle right here. So it's not part of the graph. That's what I mean. All right. So this is how you graph a piecewise function. Okay. For any piecewise function, that's how you'll do it. Do it by piece, and it will be pretty easy for you to understand what you're doing. All right. Thank you.